Hello, it is 9 p.m. in at this time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines we have the government step ups support with the distributions of diesel vouchers. A spectacular opening, Mexico kicks off its tournament with a victory over South Africa. Trump's announced an imminent agreement with Iran and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. Welcome to our newsroom. The Minister of Interior continues his introductory tours of the National Police. As part of his introductory tour of the various departments under his ministry, the Minister of Interior Omar Abdi Saeed, accompanied by the Deputy Minister for Decentralization Omar Hussein Omar and the Director General of the National Police Colonel Abdurrahman Ali Kahin, carried out a 5 visit this morning to several strategic units of the National Police. The ministerial delegation began its visit at the Hero police stations where they were received by officers and their superiors. During the visit, the minister inquired about the working conditions of police officers, their daily operational tasks, and the challenges they face in carrying out their duties. He praised the commitment and professionalism of police officers who work daily to ensure the safety of citizens and maintain public order. The visit continued at the Immigration Directorate, a key department responsible for managing migration flows, issuing administrative documents, and monitoring cross-border movement. Officials presented an overview of their mission's efforts to improve service efficiency and modernization project aimed at enhancing service quality for beneficiaries. The tour concluded with a visit to the technical and scientific police headquarters, where specialized unit leaders presented technical equipment and investigative methods used in criminal investigations. The minister was able to observe progress made in forensic science and the growing importance of modern technology in combating crimes and seeking the trust. During his visit, the Minister Omar Abdi Saeed emphasized the importance the government places on strengthening institutions responsible for public security. He stressed the need to continue modernization, training, and equipment effort to enable security forces to perform their duties effectively in service of the public. He also encouraged the officers and police officials he met to maintain their commitment and dedication to serving the community, stressing that security is one of the fundamental pillars of the country's economic and social development. These introductory towers reflect the Minister of Interior's desire to gain a better understanding of the realities on the ground, engage directly with staffs, and strengthening coordination between the different agencies under his ministries with the aim of ensuring more efficient and citizen-focused public services. The Minister of Interior continues his introductory tours of local administrations in the capital. In this context, the Minister of Interior Omar Abdi Saeed, accompanied by the Deputy Minister of Decentralization Omar Hussein Omar, the Director General of the National Police Colonel Abdurrahman Ali Kahin, continued his visit to key administrative institutions and public security bodies. The tour continued in the city of Djibouti region, where the ministerial delegation was received by the prefect of the Djibouti city, Abdi Hassan, and head of the various administrative departments. During this visit, the minister reviewed the responsibility of the prefectorate and its organizational structures and challenges it faces in managing daily administrative and local affairs of the capital. Discussions also focused on strengthening ties between the administrative and citizens and improving the quality of public services. The delegation then visited the Djibouti City Hall, where they meet municipal officials. Discussion focused on the key role played by the municipalities in urban management, sanitation, civil registries, local services. The Minister of Interior praised the effort made by the municipal authorities to meet residents' expectations despite the challenges posed by the capital's urban growth continuing their tower. The delegation visited the first, second, and third districts of the Djibouti city. In each district, the minister also and his delegation meet elected officials, administrative leaders, and police officers to better understand local realities and citizens' concern. This meeting provided an opportunity to discuss the related to local governance. With a focus of placing primary healthcare facilities and community outreach at the heart of its priority, the new Minister of Health, Muna Osman Aden, carried out an extensive file towards aimed at strengthening engagement. This inaugural visit, which represents three measures in this file, included the visit to the Farahad multi-specialties clinic and Muhammad Makki multi-specialty clinic in Engela, and finally the 15 multi-specialty clinic in Warabale under the Balbala municipality. The minister was warmly welcomed by local authorities, facility managers, healthcare workers, and a large presence of community representatives who came to show their support under the supervision of chief physicians. And at each facility, Muna Osman Aden carried out detailed towers of essential services, including emergency care, maternity wards, laboratories, radiology, dental clinics, and community pharmacies. With the great attention and empathy, she held extensive discussions with the healthcare workers about their daily realities, needs, and challenges in improving patient care. During these discussions, she reaffirmed her personal commitment and her ministry's strong support for healthcare workers. She pledged to provide all necessary equipment to ensure high-quality care and officially announced the allocations of ambulances to all outpatient clinics across the country to ensure rapid emergency response. As a clear example of the people-centered healthcare, she also held direct meetings with women's leaders and community representatives to listen to their expectations and suggestions. During this tour, the Minister of Health laid the foundations of her strategic plan, calling for these facilities to become the cornerstone of an integrated community health strategy. This approach aims to intensify preventive and curative interventions and ensure that each patient's interactions becomes an opportunity for multiple health actions, such as supplementary vaccination, systematic screening for malnutrition, and regular prenatal follow. The minister stressed that care should not be limited to clinics walls, but should extend to families and be as close as possible to local communities. To achieve this, she emphasized the importance of effective community communication supported by community health workers to establish continuous dialogue, remove barriers, and build a strong trust in primary healthcare facilities. In their statement, the women's leaders thanked the minister for her visit and attention to community concern, her supportive messages on local healthcare. For her part, the minister Muna Osman Aden emphasized the need to standardize service delivery across all outpatient clinics based on clearly defined standards, ensuring that every citizen receives the same level of quality and equitable services regardless of the clinic. She called for an in-depth review of the organizations of the healthcare systems for improved referral mechanisms with the hospitals. The Minister of Energy explained the reason for rising fuel price and confirmed the stability of national reserves. Faced with the recent rise in fuel prices on the domestic market, the Minister of Energy, Dr. Jama Mohammed Hassan, explained the reason behind this increase and reassured the public about the national petroleum stock situations in a statement to the media. He stated that the rise in fuel price is not an isolated local phenomenon, but part of a global context marked by increasing tensions in international energy markets. He noted that ongoing geopolitical tensions in the Middle East are directly affecting oil supplies and price stabilities worldwide. He added that disruptions in global maritime trade have also contributed to supply chain instability, leading to greater volatility in oil price as Djibouti relies on imported petroleum products. it is naturally affected by these international fluctuations. The minister confirmed that the government had maintained fuel prices unchanged over the past 3 months despite increases in global market thanks to a broad subsidies policy aimed at protecting citizens' purchasing powers and limiting the impact of the international crisis on daily life. He noted that maintaining this level of subsidies for an extended period has created increased pressure on public finances. The Minister of Transport explained the concrete measures taken by the state in favor of buses, taxi and minibuses in response to rising fuel prices. The Minister of Transport explained that in response to the rise in fuel prices, the government has established a special support mechanism for public transport operators as they are among the most affected by this increase. He stated that buses and minibuses and taxis currently benefited from the preferential treatment with diesel prices at 215 Djiboutian francs per litre for this category compared to 285 francs for regular vehicles. These measures aim to reduce financial burdens on professionals and ensure the stability of public transport services in the countries. He added that this policy is part of a targeted support strategy designed to limit the impact of rising fuel prices and prevent them from being directly passed on the transport cost borne by citizens. Behind every buses, minibuses and taxi are professionals facing increased pressures due to rising fuel. In line with its responsibility to support this vital sector, the state should not to leave transport workers alone in facing these challenges and strengthening its support measures. In this context, the Djibouti Bus Union began distributing diesel fuel vouchers to bus and minibus drivers as part of a government-funded initiative aimed at reducing the impact of fuel prices increase on their professional activity. These drivers play a key role in ensuring daily mobility for citizens both within the capital and across the interior regions. Authority therefore deemed it necessary to act quickly to maintain continuity of public transport services and avoid disruptions. This support is not limited to bus and minibuses drivers, but also includes the taxi drivers and three-wheeled Bajaj vehicle. A registrations campaign have been launched to create a comprehensive and transparent database for the fair distributions of fuel vouchers in the coming weeks. Transport union officials welcomed the initiative, praising government's commitment and expressing readiness to cooperate with authorities to improve transport activities. As part of the government measures to mitigate the impact of rising diesel prices on public workers, an official ceremony was held today to distribute fuel voucher to bus and minibus drivers affiliated with the Djibouti Transport Union. This government-funded initiative supports transport professionals affected by increased operating costs due to the rising fuel price. It aims to ensure continuity of public transport services and reduce the impact of users. The ceremony was attended by the prefect of Djibouti City, Abdi Hassan, the mayor of the president of the municipality of Balbala, Mohammed Hassan, representatives of the transport union, and numerous beneficiaries. Speakers emphasized the strategic importance of transport sectors in supporting the national economy and facilitating daily mobility, praising the essential role of bus and minibus drivers in connecting neighborhoods across the capital. This initiative is part of broader efforts to support sectors most affected by energy prices fluctuations and to maintain accessible public transport services. For his part, the prefect of the Djibouti City, Abdi Hassan, stated that rising fuel prices represent a major challenges for public transport workers due to their direct impact on operating costs. He explained that the government has provided tangible support through diesel fuel vouchers to ease the financial burden and ensure continuity of services for citizens. He also praised the efforts and responsibility of transport union members. The Minister of Trade, Orbis Helaf Orbis, chaired a consultation meeting this morning with the importers and traders to assess the availability of essential food products on the national market and to reiterate the obligations regarding compliance with prices approved by the Minister of Trade. This meeting is part of the government's effort to protect household purchasing power and ensure a regular supply of essential goods to the market. This discussion is providing an opportunity to review available stock, supply conditions, and the challenges faced by economic operators. Following this announced inspections across the country, the local market situation appears to be generally stable and satisfactory. A stock of essential products, flour, rice, oil, rice, sugar, powdered milk, pasta, and eggs are available on the national market in sufficient quantity to meet consumer demand, with the exceptions of cooking oil. In response to the recent shortage, during his address, the technical advisor to the minister, Daher Jibril, indicated that the quantities released onto the market will allow for the gradual restoration of the availability on cooking oil and the stabilization of supply conditions. For his part, the Minister of Trade, Orbis Helaf Orbis, in a statement given to RTD, the Minister of Trade and Tourism, His Excellency Orbis Helaf Orbis, reassured the public regarding the availability of essential goods throughout the country. He indicated that inspections carried out by the relevant authorities have shown that stocks of flour, rice, oil, cigarettes, powdered milk, pasta, and eggs remain sufficient to meet consumer needs. The minister also announced the strengthening of the market control operators in accordance with the directives of the President of the Republic. These inspections aim to combat speculative practices, artificial stock shortage, illegal hoarding, and any forms of unjustified price increase that could negatively impact households. On June 11, the first meeting of the Military Committee for Strategic Dialogue was held at Hassan Bassoum Officers Hotel within the Directorate General of International Relations, in accordance with the provisions of the Defense Cooperation Treaty between the Republic of Djibouti and the French Republic. The French delegation, led by Brigadier General Patrick Vaglieux, comprised representatives from the Directorate General of International Relations and Strategy, the French Armed Forces General Staff, and the French forces stationed in Djibouti, the head of the defense missions of the French Embassy in Djibouti. Upon arrival, the delegation was welcomed by the Director General of International Relations of the Djiboutian Armed Forces, Colonel Ibrahim Zakaria Sheikh, in the presence of the Commander of the Djiboutian Air Force, the head of the planning offices of the General Staff of the Armed Forces, the commanders of the Hull Non-Commissioned Officer School, the acting commanders of the Navy, as well as officers and staff from the Directorate General of International Relations. In his welcoming remarks, Colonel Ibrahim Zakaria Sheikh emphasized that holding this first Military Committee for Strategic Dialogue constitutes a major milestone in the history of the defense partnership between the two countries. He indicated that this meeting follows the signing of the Defense Cooperation Treaty and demonstrates the firm and shared commitment of both nations to ensure its effective, ambitious, and sustainable implementations.
tahay awoodii lagu aarsanayay ma og tahay aska
The Djibouti Road Agency ADR informs road users that the first 40 kilometers of the Galamo-Dagiru sections of the National Road 1 is in the Dakhel regions have been open to traffic since Thursday, June 11, 2026. These new sections of the National Road 1 represent a major step forward in strengthening the country's road infrastructure. It will help facilitate trade between Djibouti and Ethiopia along one of the busiest corridors in the national network, built as part of the government's investment in improving mobility and road users' safety. The infrastructure includes enhanced road safety featured and two bridges built at Gorabus and Alumbolto, ensuring year-round traffic flow and greater resilience to adverse weather conditions. Road users are urged to exercise caution and respect the signage installed on this new road. As part of the skills development for employment project implemented by the Ministry of National Education and Vocational Training, specifically the driver license trainings programs, 32 young people from the Tejora region took a theoretical road code exam for Category C driving licenses to allow participants to take the exams locally. An examiner was sent to Tejora. This arrangement spared candidates from traveling and allowed them to sit there for the test near their homes. This step marks an important milestone in their training. Participants will soon proceed to practical driving tests, the final step before obtaining their Category C licenses. This activity is part of a broader youth employment initiative. The Skills Project aims to train 325 young men and women for the Category C and E licenses to meet labor market needs in transport and logistics. Through this initiative, the project reaffirms its commitment to the social and economic integrations of young people through targeted training programs aligned with available job opportunities. The grand opening of the 2026 World Cup Mexico begins its campaign with a victory over South Africa. The 2026 FIFA World Cup kicked off in a festive atmosphere at the Azteca Stadium in Mexico City, with a spectacular opening ceremony gathered tens of thousands of fans. This historic edition is the first to be hosted jointly by Mexico, US, and Canada, with a record 48 national teams participating. The opening ceremony celebrated Mexican culture through artistic, musical, and visual performances that amazed the audience before kicks off. Large crowd gathered to watch the start of the 2026 World Cup, both in Guled stadiums and the King Fahd complex welcomed large crowd of fans who came to watch the opening moments of this major global football event. In a festive and friendly atmosphere, family and football lovers enjoyed the live broadcasts of the opening matches on a giant screen. This turnout reflects the launch of a program allowing the public to follow all tournament matches through its durations. In the regional scene, the president of Somalia, Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, inaugurates a development project in Jowhar. The president of the Federal Republic of Somalia, Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mahmoud, accompanied by a high-level delegation, visited the city of Jowhar, capital of Hirshabelle state, where he inaugurated several newly completed government development and infrastructure projects in the presence of the president of Hirshabelle state, Mr. Ali Abdullahi. Hussein, the Somali president cut the ribbons to inaugurate the new presidential palace built according to modern engineering and administrative standards. He also inaugurated new buildings for the Ministries of Education and Finance, as well as several paved roads aimed at improving urban mobility and reducing traffic congestion. Tanzania intensifies effort to protect marine ecosystems in the face of environmental threats. Tanzania, globally known for its exceptional biodiversity and successful wildlife conservation programs, is now expanding effort to protect its marine ecosystems, which are increasingly threatened along its Indian Ocean coastlines. With over 1,004 kilometers of coastlines, the country hosted rich marine biodiversity, including coral reefs, mangroves, and seagrass beds that are essential for ecological balance and coastal livelihoods. And to close up this edition, Donald Trump announces an imminent agreement with Iran and the reopening of the Strait Hormuz. The U.S. President Donald J. Trump announces an imminent agreement with Iran and the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz. And this is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.